I have notice of this meeting being held on this first day of February 2024 at 7:32 has been provided in accordance with section 3D of chapter 231 of the public laws of 1975, commonly known as the Sunshine Law. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
You put water on it?
For those who may be online, yeah, Mr. Berger, can you mute yourself, or Lou, if you can mute?
I can hear you, but I can't see you. You've got your video turned off.
Make sure everybody's muted, we're getting background noise.
It's moderately bad right now.
Yeah, so for anybody who's online, we're having an issue with the router for the courtroom, so we're trying to use the one from our offices, which are on the other side of multiple walls, so the connection is unstable. We'll do our best, and we're working on replacing that in the short term. We'll look at it tomorrow. Can I have a roll call, please?
Muir,
Here?
Nelson. Here. Mr. Keefe is excused. Kenny.
Here.
Lindsay.
Here.
Mr. Ogrodnik is excused. Mitchko.
Here.
Mooney. Here. And Decker.
Excuse temporarily, will join us via Zoom as well. Everyone's open for public comment on agenda items only.
And make a motion to open for public comment on agenda items only.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any comments on the agenda? We go to second public comment section for additional items in discussion. Motion to close.
Make a motion to close.
Second.
Second.
All in favor? Motion to adopt regular and executive session minutes of December 21st, 2023.
Motion to adopt regular and executive session minutes of December 21st, 2023.
Have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
I motion to adopt regular and executive session minutes of January 18th, 2024.
Make a motion to adopt the executive session and regular minutes of January 18th, 2024.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. A motion to adopt resolution 2024.29, authorizing the CFO to pay regular bills to avoid finance charges.
Make a motion to adopt resolution 2024.29.
I'll second.
Can I roll call vote, please?
Keefe is excused. Kenny.
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Nelson.
Yes.
Muir.
Yes. The resolution 2024.30, service agreement with Ambassador Medical Services. This is for the random drug testing required for employees.
I will make a motion to adopt resolution 2024.30.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. I'm gonna ask for a resolution in support in a second, and then we're gonna have a discussion item on this one. So can I have a motion to adopt resolution 2024.31 to authorize purchase of Culberson property, block 5, lot 45, 46, 47, 48, 49.
I make a motion to adopt resolution 2024.31 on the culverts and property.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Mr. Scott, I have a question on the resolution. So on. Other, the third whereas, the purchase of the property is $569,600. Of this purchase price, it says Hunter and Land Trust will contribute 50%. I believe that should be the Hunter and County will contribute 50%, and Bethlehem Township will contribute 50% through Green Acres, not open space.
Yes, correct.
You confirm? That's correct? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So we'll accept the motions with an amendment to the vote. So again, that'll be, whereas the purchase price of the property is $569,600. Of this purchase price, Hunterdon County will contribute 50%, and Bethlehem Township will contribute 50% through Green Acres not open space. Can I have a roll call on this, please?
Mr. Keith is excused. Kenny,
Yes.
Lindsay,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Muir.
Yes.
Thank you.
I have a motion to adopt resolution 2024.32, 2024 professional services, under the fair and open process for planning board professionals.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 2024.32.
Second.
I'll second.
I'm just gonna add the planning board follow what the Township Committee does. There was, multiple applicants for the attorney position. They had an open interview process as we've adopted back in 2022, for all of our professionals as well. But this also, roll call vote.
Mr. Keith is excused. Kenny,
Yes.
Lindsay,
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Muir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Last one combined, if I could have a motion to adopt resolution 2024.33, appointment of fund commissioner to Public Alliance Insurance Coverage Fund, and resolution 2024.34, appointment of safety coordinator and alternate coordinator for the PACE fund.
Make a motion to adopt both resolutions 2024-33 and 34.
All in favor? Aye. And I have a motion to pay all bills in the amount of $941,069.51.
Make a motion to pay the bills.
I have a second.
I'll second.
And of that, $582,402.16 are county taxes, $57,196.17 are county library taxes, and $55,618.89 are county open space taxes. The municipal portion is about $45,000 of that $941. So, or I apologize, $245 is the portion of Bethlehem Township. The rest are being dispersed to the county. Roll call.
Mr. Keith is excused. Kenny,
Yes.
Lindsay.
Yes.
Nelson,
Yes.
Muir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Our engineer is excused till a later time in this meeting, and I don't see Richard Decker online yet. So we'll move ahead with the report of public safety officials. So tonight we have our report of our volunteer fire and rescue companies. I can follow the list that's on the agenda unless somebody wants to volunteer to go first. Matt,
You go first.
okay. Well, and as you come up, if you can sign the annual forms representing your agencies on the side there.
Well, they're just the forms to update the current EOP saying that you gave the updated information for the emergency operation plans. So there's a fire one, there's a first aid one, there's a one.
Well, I'm not the official listed here, is that okay?
Is that the official that's listed there?
I can go with what I had off there. I don't have, you can just line in the amount right here at the top. We'll update it.
Then you can, if you have any reports,
Yeah,
share.
there. You need to report right there at the mic.
Report, like, you want me to read the report?
If you'd like to read it, or if you have.
I mean, we submitted the report, so.
Yeah. Is there anything you wanted to share publicly with us? You don't have to, but is there anything you'd like to?
Is there anything additional to that?
Introduce yourself so we know who you are.
Kevin Contali, I'm the president of the Franklin Township Fire and Rescue Department. Just
Sorry, your name
the-
again?
Kevin Contali.
Uh,
You want the spelling? Sure. Charlie, Alpha, November, Tango, Alpha, Lima, Delta, India. We have two members that just graduated Fire One in December. 3 members will be attending the next Firefighter One class in March. And we plan to purchase 4 new sets of turnout gear, who's on new nozzles. Do you want, should I, that's it? Okay, just making sure that there's nothing additional, so that's all we have.
No, so you turned in everything, the information written down. right?
Correct, sir. Yes.
Excellent. I don't know.
I mean, I should introduce, so I'm Paul Muir, the mayor, so I don't know you, and Paul Lindsay is OEM.
Okay,
So we're here for anything that you may need.
Great, good to meet you.
maybe doing that position, so.
All right, yes.
We're here to support you and, you know, I don't want to make this intimidating, say you're like.
Okay,
I can share my phone number and everything, with you. I think it's on the website, but it's my cell phone on the bell. 24 hours a day, so whatever you need, I was speaking to Mr. Lindsay, but I call him until in the morning too.
all right,
Do
thank you.
you have any questions? Well, congratulations on the firefighter.
Thank you.
Graduates and what's going in. Any questions for us at this point?
No, sir.
Any questions? Mark?
No, thank you for everything.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, the only thing I have is just when you're submitting your financial paperwork for all the departments is the 2023, all your expenses and revenues, and 2024, whatever income you expect and whatever expenses you expect for 2024. So I need both.
So you want the expected budget for next year?
Correct.
This current year, okay, got it. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
along with your actual 2023.
Do you want us to submit that subsequent to the meeting?
Just at some, it needs to be submitted at some
You
point.
can email it, it's very good,
Sure,
emails, right?
okay.
Yeah, I did receive
You got our
your Franklin
23.
Fire, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so I received your 23 expenses, so I just need the 24.
Okay, that's it.
All
You got it.
right, thank you.
That's it. Finance at BethlehemNJ.org. Figured you may have it, but.
Yes, got it.
Thank
Okay, thank you.
I'm gonna make the last gentleman look even more prepared. I am. So I learned of this expectation to be here tonight at 11:38 this morning when Prior Chief Nelson texted me that there's a meeting about the Township tonight. So I don't have the report you're looking for. However, I have corresponded with the CFO. We do have our budget prepared. We do have our statements. I just don't have it from the treasurer yet. We did run 23 calls, over 136 calls in Bethlehem Township last year. We have 40 members actively answering calls. 5 are juniors, 35 are full-fledged firefighter, 1 qualified active members. We have 1 member who is on his 3rd attempt. Passed the firefighter 1 test. So we got our fingers crossed that he passed it. That'll bring numbers to 36 active firefighters. As far as requests or anything new for the fire company, nothing will change from last year as far as what we hoped for from the township. We did contract or purchase a new apparatus with the township very much in mind. We have a crash truck that was replaced the truck that you had bought, Mayor. The crash truck that we have been using is from the 70s, which is not a bad thing. I think the 70s is pretty good, but it's running, it passed its useful life. So we acquired what's called a mini pumper. It's got the capacity of a normal engine, but a smaller pump, smaller water capacity, but it is a smaller size, which is able to fit in some of the driveways and narrow passageways we find here in the township. We will be moving the rescue tools onto that, so we'll be able to take them onto the highway to do motor vehicle accidents and also again to the township onto some of the more narrow driveways and whatnot as a first year apparatus for those homes. We're very excited about that purchase, and the money that you give us will certainly help fund that purchase. We expect that to be on hand sometime in 2025. There's a long lead time for fire apparatus these days. And that's it. If I didn't properly introduce myself, I don't, Paul, you know me, and as you, Mr. Kenny, I'm Rob Walton, current chief of the Hampton Fire Company, past president of the Hampton Fire Company for about a decade. It was my turn to step into chief, so here I am. I can't sign the paper tonight, Mr. Lindsay. I've not reviewed the documents I'm stipulating to, so maybe you and I can correspond, and if the clerk has my email address.
Yeah, because you said, it just basically, all that is saying, we sent you in our updated our updated number of
As I haven't sent it, then I can't sign it, so I will correspond with you when we want to sign. And I'm happy as always to answer any questions or concerns you might have about Hampton Fire Company.
Any questions? Any questions, Rob?
All right. No questions for
You
you.
know, you don't need the same thing. You can call on time, and Mr. Lindsay, I think you get to know us quite a bit.
Yes,
He's very active, and you'll find him to be a good partner.
very good.
Thank you.
All right. Now there's some prepared people. So thanks.
You go. No, you go. How about you both come up together?
Well, I've done that before, though. Hi, everybody. Brian Stevens, Chief of the Garden Fire Company. Last year, we actually had a 10% increase in our call volume wise. We actually ran 170 calls for a year, which kind of first for us. Out of that, 27 of them were in the municipality of Bethlehem Township. We were fortunate enough last year to get 2 grants. We were awarded a Cascade filling station for all of our air packs, and we also got a grant for 11 sets of turnout gear that was through the state grant, the Governor Rescue Program. We have filed again for those grants. One is gonna be for irrigation pools, the other one's gonna be for gear cleaning equipment, so a gear washer, a hose washer and a hose and gear dryer combination unit. Currently in the active roster, we've got 26 firefighters. We've got 2 that are actually entering firefighter 1 on Sunday. That's when Hunterdon County begins. And out of that, we have 2 EMTs that are not firefighter 1 certified, but they are vehicle rescue technicians. So they ride with us and assist out on all the MVAs, and they're there until BLS gets there, or if BLS is tied up a little bit, they're there to help us out for a little bit. The couple of them are actually members of Frank's department as well. We're working hand in hand with all the mutual aid companies, because let's face it, everybody today was all in the same boat. Daytime calls are rough on everybody. We're here to help. So if you guys have any questions for them, let me know. I did forward all the required documentation via email to you and you. However, I'm holding off on our SOGs because the officers and I are currently under review with those. So I'll forward to you then.
You only need them if they change that. If you're not changing it.
We're changing a couple of things, mainly on just verbiage. So I'll forward to them, you know, once they're completed. Do you want me to sign tonight or I'll sign at a later date?
If it's easy to sign tonight, if you want to come back on another date.
I'll sign tonight.
Questions? Brian, no questions for us?
Very good. Well, thank you all for the support and we're looking forward to it here.
Thank you.
Did you guys send it to the OEM email or to the BLM back?
I'll double check. Just send it to you, Keelan.
Or is it not forwarding emails?
Don't use the Wi-Fi.
I'm not.
Would you like to, say next?
Yes.
Hello, everybody. Most people know me, Mike Flukelfeller, Chief of Bloomsbury, longtime resident. For Bloomsbury, we ran a total of 200 calls, 96 were in Bethlehem Township. And everybody likes to know 38 of them were on 78. We ran 54 other alarms and incidents and 4 medical assists. To date, we have 20 certified interior firefighters, 4 firefighter EMTs. 1 is currently attending MT class now, the other one is waiting his results, so that puts up to 6 firefighter EMTs. Have 5 juniors, which is between the age of 16 and 18, and 11 associate members. I did give everybody a copy of this too, by the way, somewhere in your file. This past year, we had 6 members attend firefighter 1 training. Unfortunately, only 2 of them are over the age of 18, so the rest of them need to wait until they turn 18 to actually help with firefighting. We purchased and placed into service 4 new sets of turnout gear. Here, began replacing all of our SCBA bottles, the air pack bottles we have to wear. They have a 15-year shelf life, we have to start cycling them out. We were awarded a $10,000 grant from the New Jersey Forest Fire Service with a 50% reimbursement. So we spend 10 grand, they give us 5 grand back. So it's better than nothing. We are nearing completion of our remodeling of our training and recreation room that was damaged during the flood from Ida yet. And had 2 members complete vehicle extrication tech and another 2 complete vehicle extrication operations costs. Any questions for me?
How Ryan can I go?
He's trying my patience some days. Yeah.
Mine too.
All that's, yeah, Thomas is dealing too. He joined the squad, so
Oh, is he?
he's one of the ones we're waiting on his results from his EMT.
I'll just yell, so.
Yeah, he passed firefighter 1, I'll give him that.
My son both of them are Bishop.
Oh,
I'll get him and his brother, both of them, so.
any questions for us?
Yeah.
Seems like I know you know where to find us all, but
Yeah, I got most of your numbers there, yeah.
thank you for what you're doing. Congratulations on the grant, albeit small.
We're going for the bigger one. We've been trying to get a truck, but truck grants are damn near impossible to get. So we're gonna try for some smaller stuff next. So I submitted my paperwork, so I guess I'll sign.
Yeah. Thank you.
That needs to be the case with my treasurer, your stuff.
Evening, Frank Stepnick with South Branch Emergency Services. I left a report for all you folks too. Paul, I sent you ours by email.
Yep.
So I'll sign that tonight. So I'm just gonna go over just a couple numbers because you guys can read it on your own. You don't need me to read it to you. We answered 4,082 calls last year. Of that,
116 were in our primary Bethlehem, and there was another 15 that we assisted other departments on Bethlehem Township. So it's 131. Extrication. We did 28. We had 26 water rescues, and we assisted fire department 60 times last year. Response time into Bethlehem Township is the same, pretty much the same it was the year before. It's 9 minutes and 30 seconds. It's about 5 or 6 minutes quicker than it was before the squads merged, before Hampton and Highbridge and us merged together. Total volunteer hours last year was just over 30,000. And that's for answering calls, being on shift, answering calls and training. We took on 14 new EMS members last year, 14 rescue associates, which are people that just joined to do, the rescue and the firefighting part. And 13 new career members to place people that had left and to increase what we had. We covered 91 community events last year between all the towns we cover. We did some for Bethlehem Township, and then we did soapbox derby, football games, and everything in between. That's the fun stuff. I want to thank you guys for the contribution from last year. I know it took a while for us to get the contract wording and all that done, but we appreciate the support you've given us. The one thing we're going to ask is if we can look at funding again this year. Cattenberg and us do pretty much similar. We each cover half the township. But there's a pretty big discrepancy in the funding between us and them. And we just ask that you guys look at that. And, we get you whatever data you need. And if we can make that more equal, that'd be appreciated. I know a few years ago, you guys did the fire departments. And we would appreciate the same, but we thank you for your support. And we have tried grants. We put in 4 times for an ambulance grant, which like Mike said, they're really hard to come by. And even with Cory Booker and Congressman Kane, it just doesn't happen. So actually this year we're skipping putting in because the fire departments have a lot more they can put in for it. There's a lot more money available nationally than EMS. EMS only gets 12% of the AFG money, which is not a lot for just EMS agencies that aren't fire based. But that's it. Any questions?
Any questions for us?
Nope. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Latham.
I remember we have to figure this out.
Good evening, everybody. Tom Laffney, Chief of the Cattenberg Rescue Squad. Again, I'd like to thank you guys for your contributions that you gave us last year. We appreciate it. Last year, we ran 1,225 calls. We were up 33% from the year before. Total for Bethlehem Township was 219, and 56 of them were from the highway. We have right now 35 members, 4 juniors. Of the 35, 5 of them are firefighter certified. In case somebody needed help, we could actually help them. We did receive a grant from Robert Wood Johnson for a second Lucas through a patient that had passed away. Her sister worked for Robert Wood Johnson, and since we were helping them, she put in a grant for us, and we were able to obtain a second Lucas for our second rig. Right now, we're like everybody else. I know he's looking to try to catch up closer. We're actually looking to see if maybe we can go up a little bit because our fuel expense has gone up 228%. Medical costs has gone up 60%. Payroll's gone up 66%. The cleaning and disinfecting is kind of skewed because of COVID and stuff, but it's in there. But I didn't want to go that route. And again, we do appreciate it. It's just if you have another agency come in like Atlantic or Robert Wood Johnson, you can see, what they're going to charge the town. You're talking at $250,000 to have an ambulance here. And like I'm more from Atlantic because my wife works for them. Yeah, they might be on a transport, and can you picture if they're coming from, like they call them Dorset drones, because they come from the east, could you picture them trying to launch over Iron Brown Bridge with an ambulance? You know, they're just not familiar with the area. We're fortunate enough that we all know one another. Frank's taught most of my crew, he's familiar with our crew, working with one another. We had the ambulance, or we had the bus accident in Union Township, where literally you would have had, if we had to, 11 ambulances there from the two municipalities, two companies. Where if you had Atlantic or Robert, we got one here. I know, we send out fund drive letters, we send out 5,600 of them, we get like 25%. We send out surveys, how we did on the calls, we make it very easy, QR reader, you know, we get very minimal back on that. I just, somehow, maybe you guys can inform the town people. Nobody likes taxes raised. Trust me, nobody does. It's hard enough to live here. But it's just getting harder and harder. You know, we went to replace an ambulance. We got one last year, 2023. It was $275,000. We wanted to replace the next one that was due. We took the same spec, said, here, replace it. A year later, it's $346. And it's went up $70,000. And we ended up just saying, forget it for right now. We put it on the back burner. We actually replaced the motor in the one that we were going to replace to see if we can make it last, you know, a little bit longer. So, again, you know, if you can look at I know no one wants taxes raised, but if we can find ways to inform the townspeople that stuff has, and it's not just this township, it's going to be all of them. The stuff's going to have to change. It's getting tougher and tougher for all of us on fire and rescue. So, but I do appreciate, you know, we enjoy coming out to all the fun events, you know, Christmas tree lightings and Easter egg hunts and stuff like that. We can do it. It just gets tougher and tougher now. So.
Is maybe we can have the chiefs writing a letter or whatever describing how the expenses and how, you know, separate from the money, but donations are another big part thing. We can put that on the town website and the EMS fire.
So we have, so the fund drive letter goes out. You know, if you want to do by check, you could, you know, it's got the different sections. And then this is only, we have a QR reader. So if you want some people that would do credit cards or PayPal or Square.
Whether you take something like that and put it on our town website and the fire, that just is another way.
Yeah, to donate. And like I said, we do a survey. So if we come and transport somebody, we'll send the, you know, fund drive letter or like a survey. How did the crew do? How they look? How they perform? Would you like to learn CPR? Was it good?
You're welcome to send us.
Good or bad? And then we have a QR there too. Some people send checks and now, you know.
Guys are welcome to send us content for the website at any time. We'd be happy to post it. And we have a whole section set up for fire and EMS now.
Yeah, I know, I saw that, but yeah, no, if we can, you know, anything is better than nothing. So, but yeah, we try, you know, so the grants are more for the fire departments. We try to see whatever else is out there. We were fortunate enough to get the one for Lucas, so. But we're appreciative of what you guys do for us, but I just trying to state some of the facts that we're all going through, so.
I appreciate that. We want to be aware and, you know, we try to do the best that we can.
Yeah, no, absolutely appreciate it. I'm just trying also, you know, I'm not trying to put a scare tactic with like the Atlantic or Robert Johnson, but that's, I know my wife said that, you know, have an ambulance there and it's in Kingwood and, you know, the residents are there and then all of a sudden they're not there because they're doing transport to Flemington. So. Yeah, so, any questions for me?
No.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Nicole, Mike Susky, Chief of Pattenberg Fire. Most of you know me, and we all have our phone numbers already. We had a total of 294 calls last year. Many of them, Bethlehem, were out on 78 all the time also. There might also be a possibility, I don't know, if there might be a little more power behind the township going after either the state for all of our coverage time on the highways. I don't know if there's anything available that we can get back from them in that avenue. We also have four juniors in a Fire One program now. Now 2 more to be going in the summertime, so we'll have 6 more new members coming up shortly. And we also purchased some new equipment this year, a new set of Havantra rescue tools for all the time we spend out on the highway. So that's coming in. Also applied for $75,000 grant for safety equipment, so we're waiting to hear the results of that. I think they're going to award that in February sometime. So. But also we have, you know, aging equipment that's going to need to be replaced in the near future too. So any, you know, assistance with grants that you guys know of that you can help us with too, you know, more eyes out looking are always better, even for all of us. So
Appreciate that. Any questions?
So I know we had some meeting before and discussion, I just want to update, and tell me the right time, we want to bring up about the meetings with the payment from years ago, on the time.
We can discuss, yeah, we can discuss, we can.
Yeah, you guys told us how, when you gave us the documentation, there were, you were explaining how the difficulties it was trying to get, make it certified, all the other stuff. I'm not sure if you just want to elaborate on that, like you did with myself and Mr. Muir, but the rest of the committee members here, or.
The first time I had done it, it's a new program for us, a new reporting software, so finding the right report was tough to find, and we actually could not find the right report that's built into the system already. You can request custom reports, but it takes like a year to get them written for you, so we've actually found that we think we can run a report on a report and get that information out of the system, so it won't be handwritten, it'll be printed out on
But the
paper.
information that you gave us handwritten, you said you yourself went.
No, I went-
clarified that. That was.
Yep, I was given a list of the 42 box calls, and then I went
Just
through.
want to express your name, I want someone to-
Yeah, I went through manually and wrote down all that information that you guys were
Thank you.
looking for.
Excellent, thank you.
You're welcome.
Just so you're standing behind those, that's.
Yep. Yep, that's the same info we sent to the state, so I'll stand behind everything I put down in pencil.
Clarify that any discussions and, communication between Bradford Fire and Bethlehem Township were to be done between you.
Yep, I'm gonna write a quick letter up quick, and we'll go. Oh, man to man per se, top two there and or top two president and chief, and if anybody feels they need to have, council take a look at it, they're more than welcome to, but the primary conversation will be direct.
We appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Thank you much.
Thank you. Just got a couple of things. One, I always start with a thank you. It always seems inadequate, standing, sitting here on the other side of the table, staring at all of you, and I know basically what you do and what you're going through, and it's from an arm's length away, so it seems inadequate, but I do have to really say thank you for all that you do for the township, for all of us, and being there every time when we need you. So it is a deep heartfelt thanks for myself, I'm sure all of our committee members and our residents. So I wanted to start with that. I just have a couple notes and then hopefully things we can help out with. We've had, I believe, three over the past probably 4 years. I think it was like 3 total losses. In the past, whoever was on command from the fire side used to reach out to myself or Mr. Lindsay. In the past, it's mostly been myself. I appreciate Mr. Lindsay, he's much more active as OEM. But I would usually come out if there's a fire that you anticipate. And so I request that you reach out to me if that's the instance and you're somewhere where it could be a potential total loss. I like to be there for our residents. So I will stay out of your way, but a small amount of training from our CERT team. Mr. Lenz likes to laugh at me for that, but I went through some of the Chiefs and Yankees training, so I have enough wherewithal to stay out of your way. But I do like to be there to support our residents, and there also are some other assistance that we can provide, and we don't know about it. So most recently, there was a resident shared with me that they felt left out because I wasn't able to share some connections with them for housing and things, and it was weeks afterwards before I found out about how bad the house really was and what their living conditions were. So that's something I asked for that. So I want to support it, and Mr. Lindsay may join me, but again, really just to provide the support for our residents. The other thing is asking the state. I heard this on 78. We've gone through this. I'm not giving up on it, but I've taken this to the state level. We're not the only town, of course, that's what I get back. And so I haven't found a good way to share that out. As one of the towns come with the same argument. They're in South Jersey and they have a state highway running through. I think we have a little bit more of an argument being a federal highway, so I'm gonna use that as tangential. I do write a lot of grants for different organizations. So what I offer is I'm happy to help write grants for you. I'm happy to help be a second set of eyes if you write them. And I'm happy to help advocate it, so we share. Our senators and congressmen, I'm happy to reach out. It doesn't always do the job, but please don't hesitate to ask me to do that on behalf of you, because I'm here to do that. And again, I'm here to help with the grant process. And then the other thing is We do understand, I understand you're all responding and supporting each other. I believe most of you are on dual alert, at least on the fire side, and the rescue, EMT and rescue, all you're facing the same thing. Volunteerism is down in our country, and it's difficult to find volunteers. And we understand the crisis that you're under. I'm gonna call it a crisis at this point, and not just here. I think my committee's probably sick of me sending them. I keep sending them articles from various places about the situation. Some are from New Jersey, some are from national organizations. I don't have a solution. I'm not gonna guarantee that, but I just wanna make it very clear that it's very much on our radar, very much up in front when we look at what we're doing. So again, I can't guarantee any solutions, but we are having conversations to see what we can do either on there's very little, I hate to say that we can do is Bethlehem alone, but there's other things that we can start to work with other surrounding towns and communities. We're exploring those as well. We want to find some other better ways to support what you do and make this a little bit easier and understanding the changes in the demographics and things that are going on in our region and our country as a whole. So I just wanted to share that with you as well, because we are looking at it, and we will take all of your requests as we go. That's one of the reasons we do this now. We start our budget process, so we'll talk about that later in the end of February. So we want to know what your needs may be, and we'll try to address them as best as we can. And so thank you for coming out and sharing with us tonight.
The last thing I'd like to add would be, like, on the rescue squad side, again, the town people have to realize that, yes, we did 219 calls, and yes, we do bill for some of them, but if it's like a Medicaid, it doesn't have to use everything to get a certain value. And now the insurance companies are getting to the point where it's like, yeah, they're gonna give you whatever they feel, then you have to go, we soft bill. So that way we'll send 2 letters out to whoever it is, and then after that, goes, so my uncollectibles last year was like over $200,000 for the soft bill. So we're thinking about trying to maybe do like a letter follow-up to explain to people, like, look, we don't want to send you to collections. And that's why I brought the landing thing up, because if something like that comes in here, they're gonna hard bill. So you're gonna pay for it from the town, and then you're gonna get hard bill, the townspeople are gonna get hard bill. So.
That's very good. That's a good point. Yes, I understand. So we'll try to help you share some information. I have some ideas too, listening to you. We'll talk to Lou. We do have a dedicated page, and we'll try to find some ways to highlight that and directly to donate pages as well. And then, like I said, we'll also look at our budget as we go forward.
Just to add on to what Tom said, just, overall insurance reimbursement is like 45 cents on the dollar. Like, I don't know when I go shopping, like I can tell Mr. Coletto, like, hey, I'm just gonna give you 40 cents on the dollar for my word. That doesn't happen. And why insurance companies are allowed to continue to do this, we have no idea. New Jersey did close a couple of loopholes. Where, people get the check directly to their house. Unfortunately, a lot of people keep it, and I don't know, vacation or TVs or whatever, but, that's, yes, it's insurance fraud, but for the insurance companies, say like Blue Cross Blue Shield, it's such a small number that they're not gonna go after people like that. So.
Due respect, I try to focus on Bethlehem, because otherwise I would sit here for 2 hours on my own viewpoint on insurance and what that's doing to our healthcare system.
Yeah.
But it's a point well taken.
Thank you.
Thank you. And you're all welcome to stay. I think the meeting's only gonna be about 3 hours long now. You're welcome to stay for the rest of our meeting, but I do know that you put.
Well, I brought the book if you want me to start going over this page.
And definitely, we're always here, so reach out anytime about anything.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank
Still don't see you, Mr. Decker, online. Mr. Decker, have you, get your missing on me on? Can you see everybody? That's good. Okay, so there's no old business. We'll move on to new business for now. A discussion, determination of the year 2024 budget workshop dates. So. Okay, can I have a motion to open this discussion?
Make a motion to open discussion on budget workshop.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
It's relatively short. We're proposing February 15th, which is our next meeting. and March 7th at 6 P M. So these are open to the public, get together, discuss our budget in public. Most interesting one probably is the 15th, because hopefully by the 7th, there'll be some minor tweaks. We'll see what this year brings. But anybody have any potential conflicts with those dates and times? Okay. I have a motion to close discussion.
Make a motion to close?
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
The motion to approve February 15th, 2024, and March 7th, 2024, at 6 P M for our 2024 budget workshop dates.
Make a motion to approve those dates.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next, the discussion determination of April 27th, 2024 is a townwide cleanup day and authorizing requests for vendor proposals of same. Have a motion to open discussion?
I'll make a motion to open that discussion.
All in favor?
Aye.
The only thing I'm gonna ask Mr. Spencer, did Mr. Keefe, know about the 27th date, and is he,
Well, it's typically done on the last Saturday of April,
Okay.
so.
since we put him in charge of clean communities, I just wanted to make sure that there's awareness. And no objection.
He didn't say either way.
Okay.
My only question, since he's not here, is that he's gonna be doing the trees again this year,
Well,
the free tree giveaway.
He is, or is he?
Is he?
Oh,
He had mentioned last year he may want to do it again.
we'll follow up and make an
Yeah.
announcement. It's officially part of that, so. Which is, I think time wise, we need to do this to get the bids out. Have a motion to close discussion?
Make a motion to close?
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion to approve April 27th, 2024 as townwide cleanup day and authorize requests for vendor proposals.
I make a motion to approve that date.
Second. Favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Discussion request to permit alcohol at Heritage Park during a family event on June 22nd, 2024. Motion to open discussion.
I make a motion to open this discussion.
Second.
Good evening. Al Foster, that's my request. I'm a 29-year resident of Bethlehem Township. Every few years, we have a,
We should have.
oh, can I say it? You don't want to hear it?
Well, no, it's the fire company's giving the carte blanche, but I will.
No, that's fine.
I do want to know about the event, so we'll come with the public comment
On this event.
on this event only.
Yeah. Make a motion to open public comment on this event.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Introduce yourself. Name and address.
Albert L. Foster II, 439 Charlestown Road, Hampton, New Jersey. Like I said, I've been a resident for 29 years. Used to run rec for 8 or 9 years in the early 2000s. Every year we have a family picnic, getting too big. So instead of 70, 80 people at the house, we were trying to do it at Heritage Park. And I understand Mr. Spencer told me there's no alcohol allowed. Half of the crew, it could be anywhere. I think about 70 to 90. My wife is optimistic, maybe over 100. But we're looking for some beer and wine that just people bring themselves. Half of the people will be over 65 years old. The next 25% will be probably 35 to 45, and maybe 8 or 9 kids. I don't know teenagers wise, but less than 7 or 8. But, you know, that's what we're looking to do. I understand you guys don't allow it. We got a certificate of insurance for $1 million policy, you know, aggregate 2 million. Including liquor. And so I just wanted to appear and see if you guys would make an exception with respect to that.
So it's over 65-year-olds. I'm worried about.
A lot of 90-year-olds coming from Florida actually too. And, you know, but I understand what the thing is. So, but looking for an exception just for beer and wine. Not that we're serving it, people would bring it. So, and I think it's gonna run 1 to 7.
1 to 7.
Yeah.
With the certificate of insurance, I don't have an issue with it.
Was it reserved to the pavilion or?
Is this the thing when? Yeah, how do you?
Yeah, we're in the pavilion. We haven't rented a field.
Families there in the playground.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah, we'll stay in there.
Alcohol will stand in the pavilion. They may use the bocce, you know, I'll tell everybody to drink if they're gonna have a drink under that, but, you know, a couple, maybe basketball, but mostly bocce, the playground for some kids. But yeah, we wouldn't be drinking around. It's mostly responsible.
We need bocce balls, I have.
Yeah, bocce is great. I love that. So.
I may leave them up there, just a 100 years. Right down. I need.
You get the insurance.
Yeah, we got the certificate.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep, yep. Your additional short, Bethlehem Township, absolutely.
Is Vigilante Park Coordinator invited?
Absolutely, we'll stop by, absolutely.
I think we should all be.
Yeah.
I'll second it.
Absolutely, so.
Any other questions about? Motion to close. Public comment,
I'll make a motion to close public comment.
have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
You sit now, we have two more like steps.
Okay,
Public meeting, we're gonna drag this out.
okay, no problem. Thank you.
Any other questions from us for ourselves? No?
I mean, it's, I'm a holder of a liquor license, so I'm gonna, abstain.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no sale, it's personal.
Yeah,
That's gonna be.
I don't wanna mess with that liquor license.
No, I respect that, I think,
No,
I'm
I'm
sure
sure,
about things, yeah.
for our discussion.
Yeah.
I think, I will say, I think, it doesn't happen often, but we have done once before.
We have done
it. So, any questions? Yeah. So we have a motion to close this, our discussion.
Make a motion to close discussion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to approve request to permit alcohol at Heritage Park during the Foster Family event June 22nd, 2024, between approximately 1 and 7 p.m. to keep the alcohol under the pavilion.
I make a motion to approve, actually, I'm not gonna make this motion.
I'll make it. Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Abstain.
One abstention. Enjoy, thank you for.
Thank you.
Present.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. I'll just stick around a little bit here, some of these.
Report municipal zoning official, email report of Department of Public Works, email report. Tax collector, was emailed as well, I'm gonna give it today, so if you saw it. Animal control official email, I just want to, I will recognize, Ms. Rory, I think someone had seen, that followed up on some loose dogs, via letters, so I just wanted to thank her for, being active on that. There's a third one that we're still working on, as well, that she just responded to me today, just wanted to recognize that she is active and taking care of those. Report of the township attorney. Ms. Go, are you still online and anything to report this evening?
Hi, yes, I'm online. The only thing I wanted to add was for the Culbertson property that the contract is still in discussions, and that's why the contract's not included with the resolution. Other than that, nothing else.
Thank you. Report of personnel affected to the sport coordinator, Ms. Nelson.
Handy discussion tonight. I had talked to you this morning about coming up here and starting, take a look at the speeds up here and to begin the process of improving our technology, with regards to our routers.
Rather time.
Yeah, it was. I just happened to call him today, so I need to put him on the spot. So you better get here.
Sounds good. Anything else?
No, not really. General documentation, holding for her.
Report for coordinators, Mr. Keefe is excused this evening. Ms. Nelson, if you have anything to add or?
There was a couple of things. I won't read all of it. I always like to thank the DPWs, and I know Steve is always appreciative as well. They did a lot of road inspections, equipment repair, a couple of snowstorms, a lot of trees came down in January. Of course, we had a lot of, rain and put some stone down. And they also washed the trucks and the equipment out.
I agree to concur that they're doing a good job and
Yeah.
a lot of new faces in the trucks, so they're learning the roads quickly and we'll thank them for the work that they are doing. Report of joint professional service coordinator, it's myself. Actually, I have one personnel issue for executive session. We will, this is something that we'll take action on when we come back to the public. Report of Highlands Council coordinator, Ms. Nelson.
Yes, so, well, I want to congratulate Judy Thornton on her retirement.
Yes.
Yeah, good for her. So I went on yesterday, to a farmland preservation, presentation. And I learned a lot, a lot of discussions regarding, special events, how to start the process. I know we have people in the audience who are very familiar with it, so, I'll be handing out the presentation to the committee members when I get it. But it was very informative.
Thank you for attending and the conflict, so thank you.
You're welcome.
Report of governing body members, Mr. Ken?
The personnel member
Oh,
and we have one litigation.
yeah, I forgot to mention that in litigation.
Other than
Okay.
that, and then, well, I do say, looking forward to, Fred Jimenez is gonna come, I'm gonna have a report the last time about,
Yes.
Getting permission, so he's got an update, send an email. He's here to talk about public session, so.
Okay, thanks.
I sent you an email, and I know you get it, because I didn't read the email until this afternoon.
Check quickly before,
So, yeah, I don't know if he knows what the update is, but I'll let you tell him. But it's good.
I never say this way in public session, but about Mr. Kenny, you're very minutes, I'm good with it. So Lindsay, any, and I only do that because you're involved.
Nothing too much on Julia, I don't see Carl or Jeff on there. There are no issues with the storm back on the. Right, with the county put out a class A, if anything, I just have.
No damage. Nope.
We don't have anything to put in for that, I had one thing that's on litigation. What says.
Very good. Ms. Nelson?
Nothing.
Report of township administrator, Ms. Wing?
At the last meeting, we talked about the recreation grant that, so I reached out to Ben Schaefer. There's a lot of different options for sensory inclusive, items, and he said, you know, we've got some good space down at the park. He's willing to come out to do a walkthrough and show where we could put things on. I didn't know if it was just contingent upon us getting the grant, or if it was something we would look into, otherwise, so.
Well, Mr. Decker's writing the grant, so I would suggest that we coordinate him coming out, Mr. Decker and probably Jack is still at this point, to go over that.
Sure.
And then,
And I didn't know what Tom would need from me, or from him for the grant, you know.
yes, so what I would suggest is to get the dollar amount of the items for the equipment, and then we can look at that and we get our own budget and see if it's something that we wanted to put in as a contingency.
Okay.
But I would really rely on grant for, I wouldn't fund the entirety of what they suggest. We'll ask for that in the grant. And then
Right.
put in contingency for some things, and then each year maybe add something that would be.
Okay. Payroll, Judy and I met with, our payroll, just to make sure we're getting everything from them that we can. The big thing was we're gonna set up our pay stubs to be electronically, so we're not gonna get our paper submissions. So everybody just, it'll be through email. So that was the big thing. DPW budget, I would like to sit with Judy and Jeff, and CP prior to our budget workshop, so. To just go over their winter with all of that. And the AED was installed at the park. So I think that's.
The only thing just to keep an eye on, I know the couple of years, just real strong. Play. It's usually good to say outside, both do well, go double digit, but against a single digit and below zero extended, they may want to bring it and just keep it inside for a couple of days.
Okay.
One of the issues with the old one that was there as well.
Are there any like marked blankets or anything we can put over it?
I can look and see, maybe, or a solar power heater, but in case or whatever else, for the most part. The problem is like 1 or 2 days, but you have extended cold snaps. And that, if that unit reaches, I want to say like a negative 10-degree internal temperature in there, it would just cause it to go into a reset mode, which we call the 10 days resetting. Back in service, that's all, but it just happens, 15 years, when they said we've had 2 that done it, but they sat out sub-zero.
Good to be aware, thank you. Report back, I have actually nothing to add this evening, so make a motion to open public comment.
Make a motion on. The public comment?
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Please, please come up to the microphone, state your name and address.
I want to hear what you say.
Hello, some of you may know me already, but I'm Freddie Menez. I'm the caretaker of the Fleet Cemetery down in Heritage Park. In that cemetery, there's a couple Revolutionary War heroes, one major general and one captain buried there. I'm just looking for some help to maintain the outside of the cemetery. It's certainly been pretty probably since 2011, since I actually cut the outside perimeter, so it's pretty overgrown, unfortunately. I do maintain the inside, but I need some help from the DPW for about a day just to clean up the outside. The update is I talked to Mrs. Haydu. She owns the property. She gave me verbal permission, and I just need to know what I need from you guys to move forward. So.
We do something in writing?
Yeah, I would suggest that, you know, talk to Mike and Caleb and we'll get a form for her to sign, just give us permission for temporary access and easement. You know.
Okay.
That was really good. Effectively knock a tree that, well, you know, whatever we're gonna do. I was gonna go out there because of weather, I didn't know I could take a look over.
Sure.
Might want to have somebody from the DPW go out just to take a look so they can get an idea of what it is.
Yeah, mainly it's small trees that have grown up around it. I don't know if they want to yank them out or just chip them.
Right.
One of the
That's what
two.
the best thing to do.
So.
And how, you know, my recollection is the access, you know, to getting in there wasn't as clear as it used to be.
It's not as clear as it used to be. There's still a trail from Heritage Park over to the cemetery, and I cut a trail to the actual cemetery.
Yeah.
So you just have to walk to the edge of that cornfield there, and then you have access.
Okay.
And the whole inside's all cleared out. I put some new flags out there and stuff, so just the outside.
So that's all I heard. So we just get some permission for her to sign so that we're.
Yeah, some type of waiver or something like that. Okay.
Just.
I believe we took a vote. We'll support, yeah, right, so I don't need to, which is nothing else we need to do, which is the only thing before we authorize it. But if we got the authorizing to go out, we already authorized it, we would give the help. But authorize the release is when we get the easement signed.
Okay.
Access, so.
So you guys are just gonna come up with some document.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Get that there.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much.
Thanks for taking
Taking care.
Susan Wilder, 424 Charlestown Road. I must admit, I'm impressed. Not only because I, Freddie since he was a little kid, but it's the first Eagle Scout project of a person that I know of that actually cared about it down the road. Because when they do their Eagle Scout projects, they're not intended for maintenance, which is always my pet peeve. And the fact that he is caring about it, I think is awesome. So. A couple other things. So for Judy Thornton, is there somebody else?
Yeah, I can get you, there's a couple of temporary replacements. I don't know the person, I can check the email. She put it in the email.
Just
If you
curious.
want to-
I don't ever reach her. I just.
Yeah, there were two people she named that can help out in her short term before they replace her long term.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then I had emailed you and Carl after the horrible Zoom thing last time.
Apologize if I missed that.
It's okay. So my question was, I think in the meeting you were talking about the grants and what to do with, new DOT grants and stuff. And the email that I sent was two things. One is, can some of that grant money be used to, this sounds terrible, repair what has already been done with the drainage? And the other thing is, the work doesn't seem to be taking into account climate change and these massive rainstorms we're having. So I know a couple years ago, I think I had mentioned about Iron Bridge, where it had totally washed away on the side. I haven't walked Iron Bridge since the heavy rains this fall or winter, but I know in Blackbrook, and I sent photos which don't show it, but there's a section of the road where it's the pavement just hanging over nothing. The dirt is just washing away. And so that's like at least 2 roads now that was done, I think, with grant monies, that they're not taking into account these extreme rains. And so number one, it's just a waste of money. And number two, it's not safe, like on Blackbrook, that asphalt just gonna go in at some point. So maybe some grant monies can be used to take
I
that into
may have subliminally read your email then?
I subliminally ignored it, you mean?
No. I actually did, and I'm looking to see if Mr. Decker was on there. Deputy Mayor Nelson and I have asked Mr. Decker to have a meeting with him.
Yeah.
Because typically, and I think this is where some of the confusion comes from, I'm on 100% on the same page. So, but I think some of the confusion about the current drainage is, when we get these DOT grants, we don't really change the drainage, which is why we're on the same page. So, okay, so we get the grants, and it's really dealing with the surface of the road and not the drainage. So we replace the drainage boxes, and oftentimes they're all in the same spots. We may change the grade a little bit because we're repaving the road, we try to crest the road.
I think, excuse me, I think the one in Blackbrook is a new drainage pipe underneath.
We had to add one on Blackbrook, we did Ludlow, we may have added one, but typically.
And then on Iron Bridge, that was a pretty new substantial thing onto that person's driveway.
Typically, we put it in place where it exists, but my concern is based on the type of storms we've been having. And we're on steep slopes, that's no longer sufficient. And so we need, when we look at these grants and apply for them, we need to then integrate different types of drainage and different types of ways to address those. In addition, we've also found that the stormwater, because you know I love picking on the stormwater B2A issue, those drain traps that they made us add to all of the drainage systems have caused more problems than they've helped. So we are going to be examining it. We're on the same page 100%, and we're looking at the engineering. So what my anticipation is, we're gonna be asking DOT for more money so that we can do a better job on the drainage.
It definitely is it's a waste of money, honestly. And just, I don't mean to contradict you, but Blackbrook is not steep slopes, it's flat. It just comes off of Bartnett's Field and the development there, and I guess it's a lot more water than what they expected because there's no soil there on the other side.
Not generally, if you take the town of Clinton, which floods all the time, versus us, we're steep slopes compared to.
True, but it's a different situation. I think Clinton has a different flooding issue than we might have, but I'm just saying it.
I don't even agree with me, we're on the same page.
Okay, it's just a problem, and it would be good if it took the designs and I don't know what you do, put more riprap, I don't know. Like on Blackbrook, I think if they had put more of it, maybe. On one section, it wouldn't be all dirt, that's now gone, so.
I don't know, like I said, I'm not an engineer either, but I know that we can find better solutions.
Yeah, and the issue with Iron Bridge and the driveway, that's another whole thing, so, thank you.
Any comment, Tom?
Keith Bardecker on road. Again, with the drainage. I'm gonna address what she's been talking about on Iron Bridge. Because Charlie's gotten several letters from our town attorney that he's not allowed to speak on this matter anymore. And I don't understand how that's allowed when it's public comment. He's talking about an issue that should be rectified. You're saying that you don't change the drainage. Well, the drainage was changed. I saw it before, I saw it after. And now this water is all getting directed towards this gentleman's driveway. And it's washed out several times. It needs to be addressed.
We appreciate your input.
And it needs to be addressed by the town engineer at their expense. Not taxpayers' expense, because it was done wrong.
We appreciate your input. We've been informed that the homeowner has an attorney, so that we can make no further comment or interaction with anybody about this property.
But it can be looked at and rectified.
I hope. We can be, but we can only do that with attorneys at this point.
Well, why did they get this far? This has been brought up for several months.
We were never, the owner, I have yet to meet the owner. I would more than gladly work with the owner.
Do you live in town? You know where the road is, you know the address. It's not far.
I've yet had to have access to the owner. And now we've been appointing the owner as an attorney, something I can do once the attorney's involved.
Well, I disagree with that.
I do too. I wish the attorney was involved, I wish it was handled a whole lot differently by other parties.
There's a communications tower getting put up in town.
Correct,
Where?
right across the street.
Across the street, where? At the reserved,
The park, yes, multiple public hearings about
say it again?
it, multiple public hearings.
There will be.
We have it. We have it, it's been in the newspaper, it was advertised, we have the county.
Okay, so the reserve right across the street.
Right diagonally across the street, yes.
Okay.
So
So it's
go
gonna
back,
be,
you go
it's
back.
gonna be up in the woods. You'll never even see it.
Basically, what
That's big county advised us.
if you go,
I know
back-
what, I know what it
if you
is.
go back and watch the hearings, that's what the county said.
Okay.
And you're welcome, and the plans, I don't, or they were, I don't think it's still on, they were on the website for a while, so.
About 3 years ago, the county came out.
When?
Like, what, 3 years ago?
They came out a couple of times before us and they
were here.
initiated the
They
plan.
can- But they don't have to, they can do whatever they want.
I know. I just didn't know where it was gonna be, because everything I've seen didn't give me an address.
Yeah, and if you go back through that driveway, it's like at the edge of the roadway, and they did all their geological testing to give some concerns, since it was a mine area. We also did ask them to try to site it anywhere else, preferably on township property. That was the best place to get all the coverage that everybody needed on the back end, so.
You're not, you wanted to see it coming down. And we need it. Being
I agree.
emergency services, we need it, so. Trees along the roadways. Is there anything we can do about the tree? If they're falling left and right, we're losing power left and right. I know you've been fighting with JCP&L and everybody else, but
The biggest issue that comes down is JCP&L don't want to touch trees that are on their property, or they feel dead trees that are within 10 feet of
their
of
wires,
the wires, not even the pole, but of their wires.
yes.
So the biggest issue is, statewide, is the property owner is responsible for taking down trees that's near there.
Yes and no, not within so many feet off the roadway. There's an easement along the roadway,
That doesn't cover.
and anything that is hanging over the road, the town is responsible,
That,
within a certain amount off the center line.
I'm pretty sure is incorrect. I mean, I'm saying, because dealing with here, having dealt with Livingston, maybe have guys, trees in just bad areas there. and
Right.
Property owners being told one.
But, I mean, I've dealt with the town before on this, so. On every road, there's a certain,
Yeah, there's an easement.
footage off the center line
Right.
to the side of the road.
All that is that the town has the right to move into that, right? They gotta expand the road anywhere else, they have the right for that.
But they're also responsible for the tree if it's
Not
not
saying
right.
you read it, you check the state statutes, the property owners will be responsible.
Well, I disagree with that, and I've dealt with the engineer and DPW on this for many years. And things have been taken care of, but there's just so many along
Oh, I agree.
all the roads that are dangerous, and we had one come through a windshield not long ago, right up the road. Right across the street. So,
Definitely work on JCP&L, supposedly this year they're coming through again with another ash tree, mediation. They were told sometime in 2024, I don't know when that is.
that's like,
Yeah, I know. Exactly, the whole- exactly.
We're trying, at one point I did reach out to Congressman King, because we're trying to get some infrastructure money. Most of that now, they've restarted the tunnel, has gone to the transportation tunnel between New Jersey and New York. So we're trying to get some of that diverted to maintain the roadways. The county has announced it's really for parks and some other projects, but I'm willing to approach the county, Morris County, helped most of their municipalities a few years ago, helping with trees. And I was surprised. I'm gonna try to figure out. So this past weekend, I had to drive up to Maine, and I'm driving through Connecticut, and on the interstate, the state of Connecticut was actually clearing all of their dead trees along the interstate, which I'd never seen before. I don't know how they're paying for it. Maybe it's in their state budget. But it intrigued me as well, because it's just as the fire, the volunteerism is a critical issue, this is a critical issue. It just isn't funding for it at the local level. And so we,
Well, I
same thing.
understand, but we have our DPW, and I know when Steve was here, once or twice a year, they used to get a lift and go down the road, just cut trees and cut trees and cut trees. I mean, it's something that we can maybe do again. I don't know. I'm sorry?
I've had Steve tell me a few times, but he was like, you can't touch it because it's not our property and insurance issues.
But they used to go down the road and anything that was dangerous, they did it. I mean,
I'll be honest, I don't remember, I disagree with you, but I've been here for 14 years, and I was road commissioner
Yeah.
before mayor, and I don't remember doing that, but
yeah.
like I said, their solution has to be found, I just don't have it for you tonight. Okay, I'm not disagreeing with you on the trees, it's not a solution, we've been trying different avenues, we just simply can't afford it as a township alone. Got other surrounding townships, just as we do with the first responders trying to.
Okay.
And I'm on the Fox Farm, so every time Fox Farm and Schrock goes down.
I know where you live.
I'm going.
I'm around the corner. It's,
You got the Iron Bridge.
it's crazy, bro. It's crazy. Fred. Yeah. You need help, Connor, let me know. I helped you with your Eagle Scout project, Connor.
I do farming down there, you're the farmer?
No. No, sir. But I helped you with when you did your original project. So, let me know. You need help.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah.
John Jimenez, 40 Town Road, Bethlehem Township. But by the way, on the trees. I had a tree in front of my house. My house is probably within 25, 30 feet of the road. And for years, JCP&L would come and prune all the branches that were facing the road. And this tree got gigantic. And all the weight of that tree was towards my house. So for a couple of years, I called JCP&L and they would tell me, oh no, we can't touch it. You know, we just pruned it, I want to cut it down. Well, every year the freaking tree got bigger, to the point it was freaking scary because all the weight was like right big over my house. So finally, I sent a letter to JCP&L, found out who their law firm is and who the attorney at corporate is. And I put them on notice that they caused this tree to become dangerous. And to the point that if it were to come down, it's definitely gonna come down to my house. And guess what? The next time they came through, they spent 2 days taking that tree down. So you put them on notice that they're liable, you may get results. But anyway, that's how one tree, that's how all the trees.
They're liable for every tree hanging.
Well, if you look at the way they prune trees, and they'll tell you that they're pruned by certified, whatever standard, but if you look at those trees, again, you know they're not, yeah, they're lopsided.
I gotta say, I mean, I think that you are trying to hit the nail on the head there, because a lot of times, even the RGCNL rep, she goes through, you know, she's not the one to decide yes or no the tree, she goes through her corporate, and then they send out the tree, their tree guru, whoever it is. And it seems like that person is, he's the decision maker. So trying to get him to decide, you know, back 10 years ago or whatever else.
I was the commissioner, like I said.
It might be an issue where, hey, try to get through.
Yeah.
I don't
We
know.
did see with JCP&L there, our area rep was helpful during storm.
He was right here, was he? He was right here.
Our JCP&L rep?
Yeah.
Yeah, email.
No, she wasn't here tonight.
No, but one of the speakers, the fire chief there
Oh.
for Hampton, he was.
He was at one point, he's a different department now, JCP&L.
Okay.
But we sat with their forestry team, so the team leader that comes out, the regional rep, and then as Mr. Lindsay shared, the head forester, oddly enough, seems to, I don't misclassified what balances between PSC and Chase CP&L as the head forester. And it's interesting their process. We try to do what we can, the best, at least from them to start, is
I showed them one tree on my road that, not would be run by, not by my. Going down to the church, where the base of the tree is getting hollow on the inside, it's rotting. The tree itself is literally 4 feet away from the wires, but because there's buds on it, it's a live tree, we're not gonna touch it. So I'm like, are you kidding me?
Well, the point I was trying to make is, if it's just a tree that's there, they haven't touched, okay, that's one thing. But if they touch that tree and created a hazard by the way they cut it.
Yes.
And you put them on notice, then you have a good argument, and they will come out.
Maybe that's why they won't touch the trees now, because you gave that letter.
Well, that's fine too, they'll touch it, because then the tree will go anywhere, but it won't go to my house. Anyway, I just wanted to thank the Township Committee for approving the resolution for purchasing Culbertson. This has been a process that's at least 15 to 20 years. And the way it's going will probably take another few years, but at least you guys are keeping it going. And I just wanted to give you an update. A few months ago, I mentioned that I had come into, I had gotten the Indian artifact.
Just that.
And I was gonna be working on putting an exhibit together. Well, it's really interesting, as it turns out. The site is probably one of the most, according to the state archaeologist and this Dr. Greg Herman, who have volunteered to help us put together this exhibit. I've been out a couple of times with them, and they're very, very excited about the site. It's they consider it one of the best documented Native American sites in the county. We're still going through categorizing, the artifacts. And I'm still shooting for a spring. I was hoping for early spring, but probably a late spring, because again, they're pretty busy people. That's gone pretty well. And I was thinking that at some point when things are better organized, we're further along the line with putting together this exhibit, to also put on maybe a presentation, a formal presentation. I didn't realize this, but I'm kind of learning a lot as I go about this. But the Department of Interior actually has what they call a historic preservation officer who represents the Delaware Nation tribe, and they're located at Lehigh Valley, at Lehigh University, I mean. And so I would like to ask them at some point, when we get the exhibit set up, have like a dedication, and maybe have them come here and do a presentation, at a time when the public can come and realize how important Bethlehem Township is, its history, how rich it is. My son working on the Lee Cemetery, which goes back to the 1600s, 1700s, and then this goes actually even before them. And it's ironic that it's in the same area, So anyway, I just want to give you a quick rundown, let you know I'm not sitting on my butt, that this is moving forward.
There's actually, it's a professor, she recently wrote a book about Native nations in New Jersey and colonists, and so she's a professor in Lehigh, I believe was like Basking Ridge area, and so I'm sure maybe she could be integrated, because it's an interesting story and a new viewpoint. I know you and I had spoken, I guess now as you're going through it more, like display cases and space and things. Says you need that, if it's better to find out, could you let us know so we know where you know, had a plan, but actually, it's funny, I'm gonna say I'm a mind reader twice this week, so I really read 3 miles on storm. And Mrs. Spence, I think I asked you last week, we were walking out, and I said, did we ever think about, what the next steps were in replacing things? So, I'm glad you brought it up tonight, but it's, you know, you still think that the, open, you know, our open corridor here is sufficient, or if we need more space, or if you need display cabinets, there's, you know, let me know what you think we need as we go forward.
Okay, yeah, one of the people I'm also working with is Ed Fimble. He's an amateur archaeologist. And he helped set up, again, the exhibit over at the Historical Society in Flemington at the library. So, and he has his own private, I'll say his own private museum. Because he's basically converted his entire basement to exhibit his collection here from 22 states. But he's also going to help out with, and so, but we're still talking maybe like a 6 foot by 4 foot cabinet, but secure, that I think would fit well at the end. It's not a lot of material. I mean, it's probably, if you add them all up, it'll probably over 100 pieces. But a lot of them are just arrowheads, spearheads, adze. And the most incredible thing, and I sent some of you pictures a while back of the pottery, which is, you know, pretty amazing. So I think that's going to really be a nice thing to look at. So
It's exciting, thank you.
yes, it's a lot of fun for me to do it. So yeah.
Thank you very much. Any public comments?
One more thing.
Hey, has everybody else spoken? Everybody else in the public? Anybody else online have, public comment? Okay, so this will be our last public comment.
Steve Bardecker, Mine Road. The last meeting, after public comment was closed and all the committee members made their comments, he made a statement or comments about Mr. Madrazo and his drainage job on Iron Ridge Road. And you did it after public comment and did not let him or anybody else rebut your comments. That's not right. If you have a comment, make it during your comment time. So during our comment time, we're allowed to rebut it. And that is not right. And it should be stricken from the record, all your comments. And you should be censured for it, because it was wrong.
Report from the engineer.
Then why didn't you make it, or the engineer make it during his report, or you make it during your report? It should not have been done after public comment. It's not appropriate.
You're wrong. That's not how it works. There's no. There's no comment that public comment goes last and then nobody else can talk. That's not how it works.
Well, then don't make a comment.
No, that's not how it works.
Well, then it should be reopened.
When you're saying he's wrong, you're the one who's wrong. Can you cite to me any law or statute?
No, I can't.
That's because.
No, I can't.
That's
It's
because.
common sense. You should have a right
See what you're
to
doing right now?
defend
That's
yourself.
why it doesn't work better. Because all you're doing is.
But it's back and
But you're
forth.
not talking from knowledge. There's no such statute, there's no such law, and you're wrong. And what you just said is wrong, and I want to make sure that that's clear on the record.
But-
Public comment is comment,
Yes,
and when it's over.
Well, that was
we're
a
not
comment.
Included from comment.
that was a
And
comment.
You had a chance to comment now, so what you're saying is wrong. So don't get up here and say that what he did was wrong, when you don't know what you're talking about.
Everything's
That-
closed. That means everything's over and done with. He shouldn't have a right to talk
Saying
again.
what you just said is correct. Will you admit that you were wrong?
I'm not wrong.
You
He should
are
not
wrong.
have had,
You're-
he should not have had a
That's not
comment
how it
after
works.
everything is over and done with.
Because you say so?
This meeting adjourned?
Yeah, because you say so.
And then all of a sudden you said
Well,
adjourn.
it wasn't all of a sudden. It happened during a meeting in public when it was time for him to speak. There's
For who to
no,
speak?
for him to speak, or anyone else. When we're up here, this is our meeting. You have public comment. When that public comment closes.
And your
we're
time
not
to speak is during your
See how it
comment.
works? This is why we have problems, because people get up and they say things that are wrong, and then they continue to say them like they're wrong. They keep interrupting.
This is our
when they
right.
get the
This is
truth.
our right as the public.
Because you say it's not right, it is right, because what he was saying was in response to something that was said, that he put on into the record was wrong. Now, you're up.
He who? He as in who?
He as in Mr. Matarazzi, who got
Okay.
up and said something, and that doesn't mean, when you're talking, and public comment is done, it doesn't mean that we can't talk. There's no such law, and just because you didn't like what was said, doesn't mean that it's wrong to be told that what you just said wrong, just like I am doing to you.
But you should have a
Is that-
right to defend
You
yourself,
understand?
just like I am now.
Yeah.
We're going, which I'm not gonna, which is fine. Back and forth is the way it should be.
No, it's not. That's not how it's supposed to work. We're more generous. Public comment means you get up and say
I'm not
something,
ready for something, so one of the reasons.
but you can't ask questions. You can ask them, but we don't have to answer them. And then when public comment closes,
Isn't that the job?
that's what the law requires.
Mr. Broderick, I know you weren't here for these other meetings. We put in a time limit on public comment. We've had issues.
I understand that, and I was against that right from the
You've
beginning.
been to a county committee meeting, county commissioner meeting?
Have I? No,
Have you been to a school board meeting?
not in a long time.
Have you been to Union Township meeting?
No.
So if you go anywhere else, nobody answers your questions. You have a 3-minute time limit and nobody answers your questions. I'm your neighbor. I've known you for a long time. I've known
Yes.
everybody here for a long time.
Well, and that's the way it should be.
That's the way that I want.
That's
The
neighbors.
way that I want to do it.
Not to come up and be accusatory like you just did and then say things that are wrong, so that people out there who don't know any better think that what you're saying is right, and we're not gonna respond.
The reason I said thank you, it's not because I'm trying to dismiss you, but because I didn't want to have this engagement. I feel that what I did was in the right. I was answering a question, and answering information that was misinformation. And a lot of facts have been left out, and a lot of, I'm gonna go as far as saying there's been a lot of lies, so I was correcting the record from an engineering standpoint. And I was doing that on the record, and I have the right to do that. So with that, I said, I ask people to respect it, so we don't have to enforce our 5-minute rule now. And again, I hope you also respect that we are the only ones, I don't know anywhere else, nowhere, that answer these questions and you have this interaction. And it's been that way ever since I've been mayor, and that's the way that I want it, but if people take advantage of it.
And
we can be
we've
like
had
every other-
very good interaction here
That's-
with
that's- that's what-
everybody,
that's what
and
I
it's
see.
very good,
That's what I wanna see.
which is great, which is great, which is.
But what I'm gonna say,
No, town, it should
what I
be.
want to make sure everybody understands is you got up and said it's wrong, but you didn't say what facts we knew. You just got up and said it was wrong.
Well, because in my opinion.
In your opinion,
when-
that's not fact.
When you're right,
I know.
you're right,
So can we?
but
But. Mr. Broderick, yeah, Mr. Broderick, that's what I said, that, let's end this discussion at this point.
okay.
Thank you.
I'm troubled when people get up and accuse other people of doing something that they claim is wrong, when they're the ones wrong, and accusing them of lying when they have no facts.
I didn't say lie, I didn't say lie, I
am
never
in trouble
used that, I never
When
said
that
that.
happens, and I want to make sure, I sit very quietly at most of these meetings. But when I see that kind of thing happen, I don't tolerate.
I know that, and we've known each other a long
I
time.
know we.
I did ask Mr. Broderick, we still have, let's,
Yes.
and Mr. Mayor, I'm not being disrespectful, but I did ask somebody to comment, and the way that our new rules are written, once the next person comes up for a second comment, I'm gonna ask to close for public comment.
Okay,
A motion to close.
Make a motion to close.
Have a second. All in favor? Aye. We will be entering executive session to discuss 1 personnel, 2 litigation issues. We will be returning to public session. So Lou, we went 20 minutes last time. I think we can do